How's it going, you lovelies? I'm Brandon.
I'm Gwen.
And welcome to Book Not Cast. What are we going to talk about this week? You never tell me what we're going to talk about this week.
I told you, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's Halloween today.
Yeah, but I'll always like to ask you and act like I don't.
It's the spookiest day of the year.
It's
which
the
is
best
amazing.
day of the year.
Hold on, my mic is like falling over. What is that about?
I think
you not?
I think the mic had one too many. Anyways, since we are going to talk about Halloween.
Here we go. Yeah, well, today we're going to be... First, okay, well, to start off the podcast, we would just want to, because it is Halloween, we just wanted to talk about, like, kind of a brief history, I guess, of Halloween. So I did all this wonderful research, and I'm going to summarize a History Channel article.
That we'll put down in the description.
It's going to be down in the description, but I'm going to summarize it right now for you guys. Basically, it just talks about how Halloween this year is on today, Thursday, October 21st. But it also tells us about how it has a much further back origin than I knew of, or that I don't think anybody knows of. It started out as a Celtic festival back in the... Here, let me get down. It says about 2,000 years ago, the Celtics would celebrate basically their new year. They called it Samhain, and they would celebrate it. Basically, Samhain was their New Year's Eve. They would celebrate it what would have been, like October 31st, and because, their New Year started November 1st. So they kind of celebrated things a few months early than what we do nowadays. But they
That's
would
a couple
also...
months off. It's okay.
Yeah. But they would do a lot of things that, like, started the traditions of what Halloween is now. Like, they would start up a bonfire and put, like, crop and animal sacrifices in it to, like, basically please the druidic deities and all that. The Celtic gods, to basically have them have a good winter.
Yeah.
And they would dress up as ghosts and dead people, because they also believed that on that day or on that night, the boundary between the living and the dead became blurred, so that the dead could cross back over to our world. And so they would dress up as dead people and like demons and ghosts and things like that.
Did they leave out food for them, or is it just... No,
it just says that they
just dressed up.
They celebrated Samhain by dressing up.
Man, dead sounds better than this.
Yeah, and also like the druidic or Celtic priests would make like predictions about the future, which people were, that their whole religious thing was like very dependent on that. And right here it says that the Celtic costumes typically consisted of animal heads and skins and attempting to tell each other's fortunes. Interesting.
Okay then.
So by 43 AD, the Roman Empire had conquered most of the Celtic territory. Romans. Yeah, they just loved conquering. So they basically just like, what happened over time, I'm just gonna keep going down, is the Romans, like, they like taking over other people's land, they also took over the holiday. So the holiday became in celebration of, and I'm probably gonna butcher these names, so it says the holiday they kind of replaced it with, like, the Romans had two festivals that kind of combined the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain. One is Feralia, day in October when the Romans would traditionally commemorate passing of the dead, and then the other one was to honor Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. And Pomona, her symbol was the apple, which is why people nowadays, they believe that is why we bob for apples, and that's like a tradition on Halloween, is to bob for apples, is because of the Roman goddess Pomona. So it didn't become All Saints Day or All Saints Eve until like
a few hundred years
later. It says in basically, okay, so popes, being crazy popes they are, they decided they have this holiday to dedicate Pantheon and all and all of the Christian Mariters on May 13th, and it was established in the Western Church, and that was established by Pope Boniface the fourth? Yeah. But then Pope Gregory III later expanded the festival to include All Saints well as All Mariters.
And that was back in, if I'm reading this right, 609?
Yeah, 609 AD is when Pope Boniface IV. But then it doesn't give a date for if you guys,
Or is it 1000 AD?
No. When it doesn't give a date for when Pope Gregory changed it, but yeah.
I guess we can.
Well, but later on it says by the 9th century. So Pope Gregory III expanded the holiday or the festival to include All Saints as well as All Mariters, and moved the observance of it from May 13th to November 1st, which is how we get All Saints Day. So November 1st was basically like an extremely holy day for like celebrating all of the good things.
Which is always good.
Yeah. And then it says by the 9th century, the influence of Christianity had spread into Celtic lands, and it blended and supplanted older Celtic rites. And in 1000 AD, the church made November 2nd All Souls Day, a day to honor the dead. And people believe that the church was basically trying to cover up Samhain, ancient Celtic.
Okay. So it's a 3-day tradition, basically. It's a 3-day holiday.
They're different holidays, technically.
But they all fall one after the other.
Yeah.
And they all kind of blend together.
Yeah. So
it's a 3-day holiday.
Pretty much. So All Souls Day. So basically we now have Samhain, and then we have
All Saints Day.
No, then we have the two Roman holidays. I forget the first one, but the one celebrating the goddess Pomona. Then we have All Saints Day, and now we have All Souls Day.
Then I guess
so we're up to 5 holidays.
I guess it's a good thing that we kind of celebrated Halloween a little bit early down in Florida with Pomona.
Yeah. So sorry, I was reading ahead. So it is believed that that Christianity was trying to replace the Celtic festival with a church-sanctioned holiday.
Yeah.
Because, got to get rid of all those pagan god celebrations.
If Castlevania telling me anything.
So...
The video game, not the anime.
So,
Because that's what, just instead of watching the Castlevania anime series, why don't you just play Castlevania 3, because it's literally just the same exact thing.
Stop. Okay,
Sorry, that's my little plug.
So All Souls Day was celebrated very similarly to Samhain, with how they would do the big bonfires, people dressing up in costumes as saints, angels, and devils, and All Saints Day celebration. So All Saints Day's celebration was also called All Hallows or All Hallows Mass, from the Middle English, meaning All Saints Day.
So that's how we get Halloween.
Well, hold on. And the night before it, the traditional night of Samhain in the Celtic religion began to be called All Hallows Eve, eventually being called Halloween.
Okay.
And it took a while for Halloween to kick off.
Like all holidays,
yeah,
yes.
Because it was kind of hard for it to move from Europe and England and all that area over to America because of the Salem witch trial kind of stuff going on around then. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, a little fun fact.
Basically.
Hold on, can I say this little fun fact, because it falls underneath the Salem witch trials? The judge that prosecuted all the witches is a distant relative to the guy that wrote the Scarlet Letter.
Oh.
But he changed his lettering because he didn't want to be associated with that judge.
So this is a really kind of funny way that Halloween kind of got pushed into America like the most. So colonial Halloween festivals did exist, and they consisted of like ghost stories and mischief making of all kinds. This says, but what really pushed it, and that was around the 19th century. But what really pushed Halloween into it was actually the Irish potato famine, because now all these like all these like British, Irish, you know, like immigrants are being pushed into America.
Yeah.
And are bringing their celebrations with them and their traditions with them. So it was around the late 1800s that so around that time, like, you know, Americans began to kind of borrow from the European traditions of the dressing up and eventually doing the trick-or-treating kind of stuff.
We dirty but that Americans wasn't really to steal all bunch of stuff from British.
But that wasn't really until like the late 1800s, and it looks like, from me just like skimming through this, Halloween didn't really get like
turned on,
like going on until like the very late 1800s, like the early 1900s.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because that's like when we first see like actual pictures and drawings and stuff.
Yeah.
Is the early 1900s of Halloween, that is.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot more to this article. I definitely would really suggest reading it. It's a really cool read, just because like I kind of knew some of like the traditions. Like how I had heard it is that like, because I was hearing like every single different holiday kind of meshed together basically.
Yes.
So I heard that like, because Catholics, I thought it was like, from what I heard, Catholics believed that on All Hallows Eve, the barrier between not just the living and the dead, but like demons and earth became very like thin, because the November 1st was such a holy day. Basically, they believed that like the day before, demons were allowed to do whatever the heck they wanted, but they could not be on Earth no matter what the next day. So they would all come on Earth and like do their
wreak havoc.
And so to not get victimized, what I heard is that people would dress up as demons, wearing masks and things like that. And that's where I think, from what I heard, the tradition of trick-or-treating came from. That's not what this article says, but like it because of how religions and like traditions and rituals and all that like mesh together so much, that may not be too far off from the truth.
Yeah, because the way I always heard the story of Halloween is that way back, kids and people would just go to house, and the person at the house would give them like a fruit or whatever, or candy, just like would actually invite them in and pray. And pray for the people that they recently deceased, or just pray for them just in general.
Okay, I haven't heard of that at all, but see, like, but yeah, like, it all depends where, like I just said, like, it just said that, like, I don't think I mentioned this, but the article did say that only some parts of the country started celebrating Halloween at first. It wasn't the entire country. It took a while before, like, the entire country celebrated Halloween.
Then also you gotta realize that a lot of the country at that time, like, it was Wild West.
Well, this was even, like, late 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it was. But it was, like, kind of talking about as if only, like, one or two states, like, was celebrating it, which I'm guessing would have been, like, New York, the states that are along the, like, East Coast.
The 13 colonies.
So that, because of the potato famine, because all these people are flooding in to those areas right on the coast there.
Which, if you want to learn more, sorry, this is a really off topic, but if you want to kind of, like, get a feel for how it was back then, there's a really good cop show that BBC did called Copper. It takes place during the 1800s. It's about an Irish cop in New York, and him having to deal with all the Irish immigrants and the crime that was going on at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would. That sounds like a good read.
No, yeah,
or not a read. Sorry, let me start.
I followed the production, like one of it. If first came out, like right before it came out.
Can I fix that real quick?
Sure.
I didn't mean to say read. Yeah, that sounds like a good watch.
Yeah, because I followed it up till it aired, and then I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
They have like 5 or 4. So I definitely highly recommend it. I know that's really off topic, but
yeah, it's okay. Because we do eventually got to get to the topic of today's podcast.
Yeah, so you wanna, because of how short it is, do you wanna like head over to the commercial area?
Sure.
Okay, well, alright, we're gonna be right back. Take it away, me. Happy Halloween. I really do hope that you lovelies are enjoying this episode. We're having so much fun actually recording it, and if you would like to support us and just support the channel and what we do, there is a PayPal link down in the description below. You can donate however much you want to donate. You can even be 5 cents to a quarter to however much you want to donate. We're still going to do what we do because we love doing this. We love helping all you lovers out, even if you're having a bad day or if you just have really nothing to do. We always want to pick you up and actually brighten your days. So, at this time, if you really love to support us, or if you just see your first episode, welcome aboard. I'm Brandon, and the other lovely person in this podcast is actually the leader of the podcast. Her name is Gwen. So, if you want, you can hit the little subscribe button down below, and also don't forget to ring the bell. Leave a comment down below, whatever questions you have, either for us or about any topic that we are talking about. Try to fit it in, and we'll shout you out, and also pick out your question to answer on the show. Also, during this little ad break, I might choose one, just random one, just so I can actually talk about like that and try to answer the question at hand, especially if it's about myself or if it's about something like completely off topic but you lovely want to hear. So up next we're going to be talking about why horror is like so intriguing to us, as Gwen's like pointing at right now on the tablet. So let's get right back into it. Hope you lovely's having a wonderful day, and yeah, on with the show.
So we're back.
Yeah, I was just telling the lovelies that we're gonna be talking about horror.
Yeah. So today's topic that I came up with was why are people attracted to horror?
Well, I can tell you from my experience, I was kind of like forced into it.
Yeah. Some people are. Some people really are. Like they just.
I never really wanted to watch horror movies, but then The Conjuring came out, and also like The Fourth Kind, and my sister kind of pushed me into it. So, which both The Conjuring and The Fourth Kind are basically about, well, one's about Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are demon hunters. Then The Fourth Kind's about a psychologist trying to do her normal sleep study after her husband dies, and finds out there's more to it. And both, like, all of them based off of true stories.
Yeah.
Which just makes it 10 times scarier. Especially The Fourth Kind, where they actually show you the actual video clip or audio clip next to the scene that's playing. So.
Ooh, that's freaky. Ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it on Halloween.
Oh, heck yeah. So to kind of start off that, humans from like day one, from like infancy, have like a fascination with the macabre.
Yeah.
If you think about like, there's something about death that just intrigues us so much.
Yeah, they made multiple movies about it, like Stand By Me. The whole movie is literally just about a group of kids going to see a dead body.
Jeez, that's messed up. I don't want to watch it. It's just that kind of true crime stuff that I'm into.
Yep.
Well, it's not true crime though, but.
I mean, the true crime did happen, but the kids are just going to check it out because there's a cool dead body.
Yeah. But yeah, like, humans, for some reason, have this kind of like, it's that curiosity thing, which that's something we're going to talk about a little bit more later. But let's start with, like, from infancy. If you think about it, a lot of nursery rhymes are very morbid. Like, I wrote down...
It's the parents.
Well, I wrote down the meanings behind, 4 different, very popular and common nursery rhymes. Like, Ring Around the Rosie is about the Black Death in 1347 and how they would put posies in their pockets to help hide the smell of all the dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
And how the ashes in the song is referring to, like, the fact that they tried to burn all of the dead bodies to, like, reduce, in fact, the spread of the plague. And
you know there's a game to that? Around the Rosie? Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, you all hold hands and run around in circles and then you fall on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really messed up. Like, now thinking back to all the times with my cousins when we were, like, 2 and 3 and 4, and we're just all singing that happily, like, spinning in circles. And we're singing about people dying and then being caught on fire. That's messed up. And, going on for that, there's 2 I found. I didn't realize this, but 2 I found that are both about Bloody Mary. The first one being Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary, which is talking about Bloody Mary. And, like, if I remember right, I'm going to put the links for the websites I found this information on in the description so you guys can read in case I get it wrong. But if I remember right, it's basically talking about how, like, how many people she killed. Like, different things in the song are referring to, like, horrible things
that's why
did.
she got the nickname Bloody Mary.
And the one line about how, like how her garden grows, that's basically a jab at her, like, not being able to have children, about her, like, miscarrying constantly. And the one about all the, like, maids lined up in a row, that's talking about how, like, if I remember right, Bloody Mary would basically just, like, get all her maids to line up in a row and every day, like, just pick one to kill. If I remember right. Like, she was messed up.
She was. Well, that's what you get for being the daughter of Henry VIII.
Well, yeah.
And being locked away.
Yeah.
So.
And I found another one that, there were a couple that I wanted to put on the list and talk about, but, like, there was no actual solid, like, historical meaning behind them. Like, it was all theories. Like, they had, like, London Bridges had, like, 6 different theories on what it could be about. The most common being that it was about this Viking king, Olaf, coming in and, like, destroying the bridge.
Yeah.
But
that's the one way everyone's common about.
Yeah.
Then also the fire that happened.
Yeah, I couldn't find any information saying it was about the fire.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I know. I was so surprised because I'm used to hearing that that's what it's about.
Is that like a Mandela effect?
I don't know, but, like, I couldn't find... Everyone was, like, saying the same thing except for that. Like, no one was mentioning that. But, Three Blind Mice is also about Bloody Mary. It's about 3 men she convicted of plotting against her, and she killed them. So... the farmer's wife in Three Blind Mice is Bloody Mary. That brought, like, a whole new meaning to, like... And if I remember right, from what I remember as a little kid, like, my sister being horrible as they are, they would tell me that, like... the mice are blind because the farmer's wife, like, poked their eyes out, and that the farmer's wife was Bloody Mary. So I think that maybe it's about, like, an actual event, because they were 3 noblemen, supposedly, that she had convicted of, or accused of plotting against her and that she killed.
Well then.
So I wonder if what I remember right is maybe true, and, like, she did actually, like, blind them as, like, a punishment to, like, plotting against her. I'm not sure. I could be totally wrong. But the final nursery rhyme is the most disgusting one so far, because I can visualize it, and it's nasty. So it's Rockabye Baby. And you're probably thinking, Rockabye Baby, what's wrong with that? Well, turns out, in the 17th century, the English had this ritual of hanging stillbirths in baskets from trees in hopes that they would come back to life. They just hanged dead babies in baskets from trees. What the heck, England? What the heck? Why would you... That's disgusting. Like, there's all these, like, revolutions and wars going on. Meanwhile, in England, they're just hanging dead babies from trees.
English people are weird.
It's like, hey guys, could you guys focus on war a little bit more and stop hanging your dead babies from trees? That's disgusting. No. It's like, we have to do something to take our mind off of war. Hey, let's hang all of our dead babies from trees.
And see if they come back to life.
Yeah, and basically, like, it was kind of like the tradition of, like, putting, like, a bell in a, like, on a grave.
Yeah.
So that if the body, like, wasn't actually dead.
Well, that actually happened.
Yeah, that actually happened. That's a real thing. But I think that's why they did this, is because they believed, like, hey, like, what if...
We could do the same thing.
What if... No, I think it maybe actually kind of worked. Like, as morbid as it is, like, it didn't bring them back to life. They just weren't completely dead.
Right.
But they also believe that if the... I don't know how to exactly pronounce the word, but the baugh broke. It's like B-O-U-G-H. I'm not sure what that is, but they believed if the baugh broke, that meant the baby was, like, gone for good. So they would basically just hang these babies from trees until that thing broke. That means that a dead baby could be just hanging in a tree for, like, a couple months.
Until, like, the rope breaks?
I'm guessing it's the rope or the branch or whatever. I don't know what that word means. I'm guessing rope. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick, just so I don't keep saying I don't know.
That's really messed up.
Branch.
Till the branch broke?
So the dead baby could hang there for a couple years? They were hanging dead babies from trees like Christmas ornaments, guys. That's really messed up. That's really messed up.
It is.
The English were hanging babies like Christmas ornaments on trees. Can you imagine what it would
Christmas
be like?
trees come from Germany, though. That doesn't make any sense.
There's like, how come we ruined this? But no, like, that's so nasty.
You know what's
it's just
more
like,
messed up? We have baby ornaments.
Oh my gosh, we do. No, but yeah, like, imagine, like, you couldn't take a nice, peaceful, lovely stroll in beautiful 17th century England without seeing a bunch of baskets with dead babies hanging from every other tree.
Yeah.
Like, that's so depressing.
Can we move on, please?
Why? Hey, hold on. I'm sorry. Can the Queen of England please, like, comment on this podcast and explain to me why England ever thought that was a good idea?
Or any historian, please.
Can someone comment on this and think what anyone ever thought that was a good idea? It makes it, like, if it was just a rope, if it was the fact that, like, when the rope breaks, they're like, oh, okay, it's dead for good. No, they could hang a baby there for a couple of years, and it's just like, they're looking up at it, and they're like, still not back to life, and we'll give it another couple days. It's like, it's been 3 years. Just
the tree's about as big as,
just bury it, please. Like, that's crazy to me. The fact that they, like...
Who do you think would feed it?
God. You know, God provides for the ravens and the birds, you know.
The ravens already had a good snack.
It was the baby. You know what? Okay, I'm moving on. So yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, people have been really obsessed with the macabre from day one. But going on to, like, why they were obsessed with the macabre and, like, horror is curiosity.
Then also, people just like it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get on to that at the end, though. Yeah. So, the curiosity thing, like, if anyone ever has been on top of a ledge that is very high up, you get that little voice in the back of your head that's like, hey, maybe you should jump off. That would be a cool idea, wouldn't it? Yeah. How do you know what it would feel like if you don't do it? And it's like, hey, brain, can we not try and kill myself today? Because that would be great. Can you stop telling me to literally jump to my death?
Yeah.
Because it's that curiosity, like being told, hey, you don't want to go down that hallway until somebody tells you not to go down that hallway, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now suddenly you need to go down that hallway because what's at the end of the hallway? That's so important. That means you can't go down there. Like, you know, or just curiosity can, like, kill you. So, like, having horror be able to portray to you an event or something like that, it kind of, like, helps with that curiosity. It helps you, like you some people may be curious what it would be like if insert situation.
Yes.
What if there was a killer clown alien man who was feeding on the souls of children? You know? So they're gonna go and watch it.
But that's also... It is kind of loosely based off of in the last episode where we talked about the killer clown back in the 50s and 60s. It's kind of loosely based on that, too.
Yeah, I think his name was Bingo or Bongo or something like that.
His name is Bingo, I think.
Yeah, Bingo the Clown. It was, or Bobo the Clown or something like that.
So with a B.
It did. I don't know why I remember that, but yeah, like... Also, yeah, it's that whole thing of curiosity of real events. You know, we didn't get to grow up in an era where there were things like freak shows or circuses.
I mean, we had circuses, but
they weren't the same. They weren't freak shows. We didn't grow up in an era where freak shows were a thing.
Yeah.
We grew up in an era where you can just watch TV, you can read a book, you can do... Not read a book, you know, like watch TV and go to the movies, and you had other things to entertain yourself than going to the circus.
Are you saying reading a book didn't exist back?
No, reading a book... No, what I'm saying is reading a book existed back when freak shows were a thing, but TV wasn't as readily... Going to the movies wasn't as, like... You couldn't, like, get to it as easily. Going to a freak show, like, they traveled everywhere, and it was this big, exciting thing that, like, oh, you have to go to this. So, getting to have something like American Horror Story Freak Show, you could sit down and watch what it was actually kind of like. Because that's, I guess, another thing. Going back on, like, the last episode, how I said I really liked that season, is they don't bring a lot of supernatural stuff into it.
No.
It's just a freak show with the freaks, and you kind of get to see like what it was like in that like environment, and what it was like performing, what it was like living with the health problems, and like you also just get to experience what it was like going to a freak show in the 1950s. And it's that curiosity thing where, like, especially that also kind of goes back to the whole like retro. Why is retro used so much? Well, also it's that curiosity thing of like, I was born in the late 90s, so I don't know what it was like growing up in the 80s. But Stranger Things lets me kind of see what that was like back then.
Right.
So it helps with that curiosity of what would it have been like back then. So yeah, like curiosity kind of plays a bit of a part in that whole thing. Yeah.
Moving on from that, though.
Is the thing I know a lot of, I guess, girls go to horror movies for, which is adrenaline rush.
Then also they just want to act for a lot. Some of the times, girls go to horror movies with guys just to like necessarily like. Yeah, it's like.
I'm so scared.
Like, is the hit on them.
Yeah. No, I can kind of see that, but also, like, I know some girls who, that wasn't the reason. They went there because they liked getting scared.
Yeah.
Because they would get scared, and then they would start giggling a little bit. Like, they would go from, like, screaming to, like, nervous laughing. Because, like, you get that adrenaline rush. Which, that's the last thing we're going to talk about, is the adrenaline rush. Some people will go to a monster truck rally, or to boxing, or to wrestling, or to a movie, like a thriller action movie, like Mad Max, to get their adrenaline rush.
Mad Max.
I was a Mad Max adrenaline rush person, like, all the way.
I was like a James Bond.
I didn't really watch the James Bond movies, but
James Bond is.
I need to watch
cool
them.
Series.
But yeah, like, I remember the first time, it was back in, like, what would that have been, 2016, 2017?
Yeah.
No, it was 2015, 2016 when Mad Max came out. The newest one.
Yeah.
And my sister had gone seen it, and...
Which there's a whole theory about that's actually the kid from the first movie.
Stop.
Sorry.
Whole other thing.
Yeah.
But
I know too much stuff.
My sibling took me to go, like, they were on a mission trip. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, they were on a mission trip when they first saw it. Or they were, like, they were doing something when they first saw it, and they were like, "This is amazing! You gotta go see
like,
this.
Dude, you gotta see this.
It's the best thing in the world." And I was like, "Okay, sure, we can go see it." Oh my gosh, they were like, "I'm glad you're not driving because you would get us in a wreck. You are so pumped up right now." That got my adrenaline boosting. I was like so energized and like I wanted to just like run. Like it got my adrenaline like spiked up like
Jeez.
crazy. It was a great high, but yeah, I felt great. I need to tell everyone about that movie after that.
You
But
still need to tell people about that movie.
yeah. But yeah, so like, some people will go see like action thriller movies to get their adrenaline
There's
pumping.
people like me.
Or there are people who will go out and do stunts. Like crazy dumb stunts.
Oh
to get
no,
that
I was
adrenaline
trying
pumping.
to shift to horror.
Oh, but yeah, like they'll go. Well, like I was getting to that.
Okay.
But like how people go do out and physically do things that maybe will put their life at risk.
Yeah.
To get that adrenaline rush. Some people will go to horror movies
Like
and
me.
get scared.
Thank you. You finally get to. Sorry, continue.
So some people will go to horror movies to get that adrenaline rush and that big like, ooh. Because getting scared pumps your adrenaline up because your body is just like fight or flight. What do I need to do? I need to get ready to fight this thing.
Oh, like me, how I hit my hip during it chapter 2.
Yeah, because you got scared so bad and your body was just like, we need to leave.
Yep.
Also, we need to stay and fight it. So now we're going to be injured. So
Totally not worth it.
So yeah, that was my last point, adrenaline rush.
No. You don't want to talk
yeah.
about out-of-face horror movies?
So, kind of going off of that, the whole why people like horror, whether it be just the general fascination with macabre that everyone has, or the whole curiosity thing, or whether it be because they just really like getting that adrenaline rush and that adrenaline high. Like, everyone gets into horror somehow.
Yeah.
And is fascinated by it. So whatever the reason may be, whether it be just the general fascination with the macabre that everyone has, or just that curiosity thing, or the adrenaline rush, like, a lot of us are just really into horror. And it could be a combination of all of those things. Like, for me, it kind of is a combination with all those things. I also, a point I didn't put down was, like, there's a lot of mystery in horror.
Yeah.
And I love
a lot
mystery.
of horror movies are just mystery movies.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
But yeah, so that kind of just is my way of explaining why I think people are into horror. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think that's why people are into horror, because I'm a mix.
Yeah.
I'm like a whole big bucket of mix.
Trail mix.
Yeah, I got peanuts. I got crackers, pretzels. The whole thing.
The Black Plague is in there somewhere.
Yeah, I got rats.
I got rats. What are you playing? Hello, stranger.
Brian's in there too. Don't ask why. He's pretty messed up.
No, he's not. Don't listen to Brian. Okay.
Anyways.
So yeah,
I think that's why I also go down to St. Augustine a lot, because I like that.
Yeah.
I like the horror and the creepiness aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like the dark history.
Yeah.
Because there's a ton dark history about that city.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. But yeah, just kind of finish it off. I kind of wanted to know, kind of have us talk about our first horror movies and like how old we were when we got into it. Because also, it's not just that everyone has maybe a different reason or multiple reasons why they're into horror. Everyone comes into horror at a different age. I was extremely young when I got introduced to horror. I was like 5.
Same.
4 or 5.
Wait.
I may have been younger than that.
Yeah, I was younger too. I was like, nah.
No, it's usually around, the youngest is usually around 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Because that's usually around the age when your older siblings are going to be 2 to 3 years older than you or more.
Mine was like
3.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah, she's 3 years older than me.
No, she's 2. I just remember when she's born.
Yeah, you messed me up. How dare you?
Sorry, I'm sorry. Mine's 3 because they're born in the same year. I got confused. So we were around that age where like our siblings are a couple years older than us, so our parents are letting us kind of do whatever the heck we want because like, hey, the older siblings are old enough. That must mean the younger ones, the little ones,
the younglings. Not the younglings.
The younglings are.
Anakin, no.
They're yeah, they're fine. But yeah.
Don't believe what Obi-Wan has told you.
Stop. But yeah, so I was extremely young. I remember how old I was because I remember how old I was because I remember how old my cousins were. And they're quite a few years older than me, so I remembered like, oh yeah, that lines up right. So how about you go first? How old were you when you saw your first horror movie? Just kind of ballpark.
Well, it was either between The Fourth Kind of Jaws. I think one came before the other.
Yeah.
No, it was Jaws. Jaws came first.
Jaws came first?
Jaws came first. So yeah, I was like around 4 or 5. I kind of explained this in the last episode. My dad and my sister decided, hey, you know what a good idea? Let's watch Jaws in, the living room. While Brandon's still here. It's okay. I ran out of the room like a couple of times, but besides that, that movie messed me up. I couldn't really be in the ocean for that long, for like a while. And sometime after that, I found out about the movie The Fourth Kind, and my aunt took me and my sister to the movie theater, and I remember running out a couple times, but still really enjoying the movie. That also messed me up. But yeah, I watch it every single year now.
So I technically have 4 movies, but yeah.
I watch it whenever the events take place, which the events take place like at the beginning of October.
Oh, okay. Oh, you didn't watch it this year?
No, not yet, because I wanted to wait for you on Halloween.
Oh, I thought you wanted to watch it at the beginning of October.
Yeah, I did. But we was busy.
Oh, yeah, we were. Yeah, so you had a couple movies. I have, I'm gonna list these in order that I am pretty sure I watched them. Just to also kind of give, like, background of, like, what I was exposed to at the youngest age. Because we watched them all around, like, the same point in time, like, within a year. So, like, I was still about, like, between, like, 3 and 5 when I watched these. Because, like, I'm, like, basically the baby cousin. So, like, out of, like, my cousins, there's only one younger than me.
There's a couple younger than me.
Yeah. All of them are at least 1 year older than me. So, we have me, little, like, 3, maybe 4-year-old me. Then we have my one cousin who's a year older. And then my sister and my other cousin who are 2 to 3 years older than me. So, while I'm, like, 4, they're, like, 7 and, like, 8. So... Yeah. So that was appropriate for, like, these were appropriate.
They can handle it better than you.
Yeah, this was maybe appropriate for them to watch. Even for my cousin that's, like, a year older than me. It was appropriate for, like, her to watch. But little baby me? Little me? Nah, man. So, the first movie I remember seeing, I couldn't go in pools for a while because of one scene in it. And it's Alive. That movie messed me up. Which, thinking back at it, it's a really bad horror movie. Like, it's really corny and stuff. But, like, being, like, 4 years old...
The Fly is a really bad, corny horror movie, but it's still good.
Yeah, but, like...
That's just because it's Jeff Goldblum, but that's my opinion.
But, like, little 4-year-old me, like, doesn't understand, like, this is corny. It sees that and just sees, like, the scary bits. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna die. Because, like, the movie came out in, like, the 70s or 80s or something like that. But then the second one, if I remember right in order, I may have these two mixed up. Actually, I think it may have been Tremors was the second one. Once again, great movie to show a 4-year-old, guys. Thanks to my family. Here's the thing, though.
Shout out to Gwen's family.
My aunt and uncle would proof watch all of these movies before showing them to my cousins and, like, my sister and I. So, like, they would basically see, okay, is there a scene that's too gruesome for them in here? Or is there a scene that's, like, just in general inappropriate for them in here? And if there was, then they would sit down, wait until they could sit down and watch it with us, so they could skip it.
Yes, cue 70s music. Sorry.
It's okay. So, now that I think about it, I don't think any of these movies had any, like, super gory, gruesome, or, like, inappropriate scenes in them. Because I don't remember my aunt or uncle having to skip through any parts of these ones.
You know what they really should have showed you?
What?
Trolls 2.
No.
I watched that movie. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh,
It didn't even have any trolls in it. It's all about goblins. It's actually listed as the worst horror movie ever.
Oh wow, dang. But yeah, the last one, which my cousins and I loved, was
sorry, I want to add something. That's where the meme that says, "Oh my God, she's eating him. Then she's gonna eat me."
No, they're eating her. Now they're going to eat me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's where that meme comes from.
Yeah.
That scene was 10 out of 10 in my book.
Yeah.
Special effects even better.
But yeah, and then the last one, well, kind of the last one I could remember the name of for me is Children of the Corn. And my cousins and I and my sibling loved that so much. We would go out into my cousin's side yard and start, like, singing the theme.
You guys were messed up.
Yeah. And my aunt, like, she would try and make, like, a big garden every year. Sometimes we would play around in it, singing yeah. Every time we were in the car and we'd pass a cornfield, we'd start singing it.
It was like, hey, watch out for the kids.
We were messed up. I gotta tell you guys, I'm gonna tell a little story, like, at the end here, just like...
Sure. Why don't you just tell it now?
Well, I wanted to... Maybe not. Never mind. Okay. Now, a movie I don't remember the name of. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can, like, Google it while I'm describing it. So, this horror movie is, I think, about, like, a newspaper printing press that is possessed by a demon. Like, the machine itself is. And it starts, like, sucking people into it and killing them.
What horror movie?
It was terrifying because it was so, like, drab and dark and, like... I may have found it, guys.
The Mangler?
Hold on. I think I found it.
What's it called?
The Mangler. It's about a laundry folding. Hold on. I just need to see a picture of the machine to know what it was. Oh my gosh, I think this is legit it. This is it. I have been waiting. You guys don't understand. I never knew the name of this movie. It came out in 1995. It is called The Mangler. It is terrifying. Because it's this big, you know the horror stories of, like, in the early 1900s, like, little kids, like, working in factories and being the ones to be sent in to crawl in and fix stuff, and they'd get, like, trapped in it? Yeah. Well, it's basically a sweatshop. But it's this giant laundry folding machine that has all these different, like, things you can get sucked into, and it gets possessed by a demon and starts sucking people into it if you, like, got too close and stuff like that. It is terrifying. It's only rated on IMDb as a 4.3
out of 10.
Out of 10. So that's not a great rating, but I remember it, like, freaking me out so bad. Oh my goodness. Does it have any big names in it? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it does.
No, that's not any big names.
But yeah, no. Jumping back to what I was gonna say was The Brain is about a TV show channel, like a local channel, that they possess people to either join with them or basically kill themselves. And it follows this, like, rebel kid whose whole family gets basically mind controlled over this TV channel, and he has to stop them.
That's kind of cool, but like.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty cool concept and everything, but it's Canadian.
Oh. That makes sense.
Yeah, as much as I love Canada, I always like to riff on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like a lovable thing that people do. But anyways, on with the question of the day of the week.
Well, I wanted to also kind of do a wrap up thing.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead. Do your wrap up.
Sorry.
Are you gonna wrap? What are you doing the wrap up? Please don't.
I'm Gwen, and I'm here to say that I'm gonna finish this up in a major way. Okay, no.
Get out of here, 10 Mosby. Nobody.
Okay, so yeah, that kind of just like wraps up. So, would you say like when you first saw those movies, that was like your first like fascination with horror?
Yeah. Well, definitely for the fourth kind, not with Jaws.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like you were probably about like 7-10 years old when that kind of had fascination.
No, it was yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think your aunt would have taken you to a horror movie at like 5.
No, she would have.
Well, legally, they would not have let her take you in there until you were like
joking.
10.
It came out in 2009.
Okay, so yeah, you were like what? Well, no, 11, something like that.
Yeah, around that age. Anyways, but then also, I always used to watch all the ghost shows with my aunt.
Yeah.
So I was kind of used to it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember my first horror game being Resident Evil Outbreak, which, if any of you guys have that or know where you can get it, please let me know, because I've wanted to play it so badly for like a couple decades. That's not true, because I'm only a couple years old. So.
You've been wanting to play it since you was 1?
I've been wanting to play it since I was 1 year old. Little baby me in the crib, smacks hand down, says gibberish. Translation, get me that dang game. It probably sounds something along the lines of...
Can I just move on to the question of the week?
Well, okay, but yeah.
It's the second question of the week.
So yeah, like, that's kind of just like how we got into horror and all that.
I guess my first horror game technically would be Jaws Unleashed.
Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, you have a we're gonna move on now to the
Sorry, it's not realization.
Your question, your Yahoo answer.
Take Brian, don't slam him down though. Boy.
I'm not slamming him, I'm dropping him.
What do you do on Halloween? I do nothing. I just enjoy watching the funny costume people wear. I wish I could do the same, but I have social anxiety. But maybe this Halloween I will think about it. Have you planned on what you'll do / what costume you'll wear this Halloween?
Well, we're gonna do Ghostbusters. I got a new Halloween costume though, like after we got our Ghostbusters ones, that I really wanted to wear on Halloween, but like I'm thinking Ghostbusters is gonna have to be it.
Yeah, for the 35th anniversary, yeah. Of course. But what do you do on Halloween?
Okay, well, last year I did nothing. We have this thing at my church that I work at on Wednesday nights, and since it was on a Wednesday night, because that's when most trick-or-treating was, they ended up closing it. So I just stayed home.
Didn't pass out any candy?
There's no kids in my neighborhood, really.
Yeah.
Like, at least none that go along my street, because my street is, like, a main, like, street, so, like, a lot of cars are quickly, like, speeding up and down it, so, like, and the sidewalk doesn't really have a barrier. Like, it doesn't have a grassy little medium in between the sidewalk and the road.
No, it doesn't, really.
So, like, with people going out and partying, like, the parents don't really... That, and we have some, like, drunk college students that live, like, you know, along my street. So, passing out candy, like, we used to do that when I was younger, but, like, nobody would really come by. Like, if you go, like, one street in, that's when you start getting, like, more people passing out candy and stuff.
Huh.
But, yeah, so I would go... When I was really little, I'd go trick-or-treating with my family. Then around, like, 6 or 7 or something like that, we would go trick-or-treating with my friend, which we did up until, like, 2014, 2015. I think that was like one of the last times I went trick-or-treating with them. And then after that, I just stayed home.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
But still, it sounded like you had fun.
And like I dressed up in my Slytherin costume and did my makeup all cool and
took selfies.
I took like 2 selfies. I think I posted one of them. I may not have posted any of them. I don't think I posted.
No, I think you did.
I did?
Yeah.
I don't remember if I posted one on Halloween or not, but yeah, like and then I just sat there.
Didn't watch anything, didn't play anything, just sat there.
I watched Jeopardy. That was basically it. Yeah, Halloween's like I used to be super into Halloween. That was like my favorite holiday, but like lately, like since nobody's wanted to like do anything with me.
Well, not this year though.
Well, yeah, but like over the past couple years, like since nobody really wanted to do anything with me, or they already had like plans with other people or whatever. Like, I usually would just like sit at home alone.
I'm sorry. Well, at least you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, what do you normally do for Halloween?
Well, depending on when trick-or-treat is, whenever I was little, either me and my sister, me and my friend from school, that is basically family to us, we'd just go trick-or-treating. I remember being way far away from my house one year, and I was freaking out because we're so far away from my home, and trick or treat literally just ended, and there's creepy people walking everywhere. Somehow we found our way back home. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then when I got to high school, since I had friends that were younger than me, I would always take them out trick-or-treating.
Exactly what I would do with my friends, but then once they got to being too they didn't feel comfortable trick-or-treating anymore, they felt like they were too old, we stopped.
Yeah, and that's basically what happened to me is a couple years, and until now, I just hand out candy, and I watch horror movies, and also watch Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
Because that's just a Halloween tradition for me. So, then also my family likes to make Johnny Mazzetti, which is just beefaroni, but with the twisty noodles.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they can be with the twisty noodles or just actual macaroni.
Yeah. With
some onion in it. Make it that creepy, fleshy, I guess.
Stop. Okay, well, yeah.
Zombie's favorite type of food.
So yeah, you guys...
Get it? Because his name is just Johnny Mazzetti.
Yeah, I get it, Brandon. Oh my goodness.
Anyways. But yeah, no, if you enjoyed this episode, high five. Oh.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we answered the question.
Just go on.
Are you sure?
Ignore that oh my goodness. I'm cutting all this out. I'm going to pretend this conversation has never happened.
Okay.
So just do your thing.
Okay. Anyways, if you enjoyed this episode, high five that button with your little skeleton thumb. High five it really good.
Yeah. Leave a comment down below, and leave a comment down below of what you guys do for Halloween.
And what you guys wore for costume wise. Or what has been your favorite costume on Halloween?
Or if you guys have any other kind of traditions.
If you heard a different story about the beginning of Halloween, leave it down below in the comments, because we actually like to really read them and actually try to best fit different traditions, where Halloween actually came from. So, but yeah, besides that, also don't forget to ring the bell.
Ding.
Stay notified for uploading. Yeah, happy Halloween. I hope you can always have a wonderful day, whatever you watch this, and no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what you are, love and respect yourself. Also, love and respect others. And yeah, next time we're gonna have a cast. Bye.
Bye.
I did it. I said the right thing this time. So happy.